just gonna give you guys a quick little rundown of how these things happen to me. Like I said, my professor put me through these things. If I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't the only one. I couldn't say she was racist. She was questionable about it. Like, it was definitely some questionable things that she would say to me that were harmful, but also like, do you know what you're saying? Like, because some white people are oblivious to the comments that they're making. Yeah, so it was never something that I was just like, it would just be like head turning, like, huh? Like, you would say that to me? Creative gaslighting. The examples that I gave you guys about what creative gaslighting is. A lot of the times in school, when I was doing a project and, a teacher comes over and give you their pointers and stuff like that. I believe my very first project, I had an idea for something, for like a flooring or whatever. And she's like, that doesn't look right. It's just something wrong with it. And as a beginner in college, I'm like, okay, she's the professor. She knows best. She's giving me good advice, right? I listened to her and I went against what I thought. And I listened to her and did exactly what she wanted me to do. Even though it didn't feel right in my spirit, I did what she wanted me to do. And then when it was time to present my project, I got points off of that because I was literally presenting my project, and the people that were judging said a better flooring would have been something like this. I said, you know what? I thought that too. And I looked directly at her. I said, and they were like, well, how come you didn't do it? And I said, without saying, like, my teacher told me it was a bad idea. Without saying it was a bad idea. Without pointing her out and stuff like that, being a nice citizen, without pointing her out, I just was just like, someone kind of swayed me from what I thought. And they were just like, you're supposed to go with your first instinct and listen to yourself and not others, right? And so she was there. She was also with one of the judges. So it's just crazy to me that I did exactly what you told me to do, and then you still graded me. Like, you still took points off of that one thing because I listened to you. It's one of those things where you feel helpless because I listened to your pointer. I listened to your advice, but yet you still crucified me for going against my own will and listening to you. But had I did what I did when you told me, you said it was terrible. What the hell? So that was a gaslighting moment that she did to me. The artistic suppression of my teacher was very stuck in old ways. She was an older woman. My college interior design program was very old. Like, there was not up to date with a lot of their teaching, a lot of their ways, a lot of their designing and stuff. And so me coming in, not being a normal person that's just like beige everything, I'm very much a pop colored art everywhere. This is the type of person that I am. And so when I come into the mix and I'm being taught by people who are just beige and white and cream, everything, it clashes, okay? And so she would say things like, you're thinking too deeply about this and it's not that deep. Or she would say, like, you're spending too much time thinking about this thing when you have to worry about all of these other things. And it was very passive. It was very passive. Like, obviously I'm thinking more deeply into this specific thing because it's very important to me. It's a key factor. And you're telling me to let go of something that's very important to go focus on minor things is kind of psychotic. I don't know. But as a kid, I'm like 19. I'm just listening to my professor. I'm just going, she knows. And why would she try to harm me? And so I'm not thinking that she's literally abusing me. But this is what it looks like, like, I'm not conscious of this. This is what this is, okay? I'm just now learning about this, like, last week, okay? I didn't know this was what abuse was. But these are things that she would do every day. I'm telling y'all, every day it was something else, okay? Creative theft and manipulation. So I definitely had some ideas stolen in class. Classmates would walk around. Listen, I love my classmates. My classmates were wonderful, okay? But there were situations where a classmate will get inspired by me. I don't want to say they stole anything from me because they definitely would ask me, like, hey, am I able to use this? Go ahead. I love to inspire people. That's just who I am. Go ahead, use it. Whatever. I'm not that type of person, and I definitely respect that they asked me. But there was a certain situation where they used something that I used in like my portfolio specifically, because I remember this portfolio was my last semester. Okay, my last semester, I was wrapping this up. This is me wrapping this up. This is probably 21. College is almost over. We are in portfolio season. Okay, and so I had an idea for my portfolio. Someone you asked to use it for their portfolio, and they made it to fit their portfolio. So it didn't look like mine, it looked like theirs, but the idea of it was the same. Okay, yeah, when it was time to present, it wasn't like presenting like finalized, it was just like markups and stuff. You know, when that classmate portfolio was shown, my teacher was this holy grail. She was just like, wow, so beautiful, this is amazing, I really love this exact thing that she used from my portfolio. I love this idea, this is so sweet, this is so many wonderful words she used. I'm quietly waiting for my turn. Here comes my turn, and she has nothing nice to say about mine. Nothing nice. Everything's terrible, the placement's bad, the color is different, the color coding doesn't work. The idea that I had for mine is just too big, too loud, too this, too that, and I'm just literally, at this point, I spoke up a little bit because I was so sick of being abused. Like, at this point, I was depressed. Every day of being abused of your art, you get sick of it. You get sick of it, and no one sticks up for you. Literally, everybody goes ghost. Everybody in the classroom literally quiet, muted. Like, you just said you love this thing, and I'm literally waiting for the classmate that said that they loved what I did to say, actually, I like that she did that. That's actually what inspired me to do that on mine, that you said you love. I wanted my classmate to say something like that. Would have been nice. Shit. But no one said anything, and so it felt like I was alone, and I literally was just sitting there looking like, are you going to say something? Are you going to say something? Are you going to say something? Mind you, I'm also the youngest in the room. Classmate never said nothing. And so it led me to say something like, you know what? You don't like my portfolio, but this is my portfolio. You don't have to like it. This portfolio that I'm making will be for me to go get a job with, not for you. Like, are you giving me a job when I graduate? I kind of was just like giving her attitude, and she was getting upset. And she kind of got heated and said, you know what, let's just take a break. But she deserved that. She deserved that, because that was the least I could have done, was stick up for myself. She came back and kind of was even more passive with it, and kind of just like, you know, guys, I'm just here to give you guys advice on how to be better, and if you don't want to take advice on how to be better, then so be it. That's just artistic suppression. Okay, I'm just trying to share to you guys how these things affected me. So projection and controlling, because she was my professor, and because she's done this for years, and because she's so much older than her, this is when I learned about ageism. Okay, this is the first time I've witnessed ageism. Everybody in my class was older than me. Everybody had children. They either had children, or they had went to college before, and now they're coming back to do another career. They've already explored exactly what interior design is, and me, I'm fresh out of high school, and I don't know what interior design is, and I literally have to start from scratch. The control and projection, because everyone else had somewhat more knowledge than I did regarding interior design, I was supposed to already know a lot of stuff. Like, apparently, when I got to college, I was supposed to already know what everything was. I was supposed to know how to do everything, and what the fuck? How? How? But anyway, control and projection. Yeah, so this one kind of goes back to the artistic suppression of the things that I was saying in there, about how one of the things I said was, I know best because I've been here. I already know what's going on. I'm your professor, for crying out loud. I'm the creative director of this whole major, so you should trust what I have to say. All your other teachers, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm here for a reason. You know, asserting her dominance. You know, literally, don't we speak about this? Literally asserting her dominance and telling me that she's so much better than me because she's been here. She's been doing this since however many years. then it was like with the whole my project situation, where my portfolio project, where it's like, I know what I'm saying, and if you don't want to listen to me, that's on you, and you're just not going to succeed in life. There's been times where she was telling me, like, because I would literally express to her, like, you're asking me for 50 million things as if I don't have 5 other classes. We all have finals with other things. Now, the older women that was in my major that I was just talking about, they weren't in school for full time. So they would have 1 or 2 classes a day. And so, yes, they have more time to work on a lot of this work. But me, I have to work on this, work on this, work on this, and work on this all at once, okay? And that's a lot. And also, there was no time for inspiration. There was literally like, you have 2 days to come up with an idea for this final project that we'll be working on all semester for. And if you don't have it by Wednesday, it could be Monday. If you don't have it by Wednesday, then you'll be failing. What? How are you supposed to grasp an idea that fast? How? And then in the midst of it, have other classes. Like, that's what that was. There would be times where she would literally say, you won't graduate you won't succeed if you finish school so soon. Like, maybe you should stick around for 3 years. Mind you, I went to a 2-year college, Harcum College. Let's just put it out there. I went to Harcum College, and let me tell you something. I'm not staying here for 3 years to get a 2-year degree. You got me fucked up. She's like, I'm going to be honest with you. The way the classes that you have to take, they don't set these classes up for you to graduate in 2 years. It's just not a real thing. It's just, they tell you that it's 2 years, and then you get here, and then, you apply for your classes, and then by the time the 2 years is up, you realize that you don't have enough credits to then graduate. So, yeah, you should really just think about coming a part-time. They'll stay on campus and still come here every day and still work your ass off every day and just do it every day for 3 years. You got me. That moment that she said that to me, she sparked something in me. Because
sorry, but your words don't apply to this guy.
What you're not going to do is tell me what I can't do. Okay, and let me tell you something. Let me just speed that part up. I did graduate on honors. I did graduate with a job, 2 actually, with Black women, okay? Put some respect on my name, period. And so, yeah, let's make that clear. My last year of college, the same person that took the idea from me, for my portfolio, she had an internship for, because they don't tell you. She didn't really tell us that if we can find an internship that will give us a credit for something else. She didn't tell us that. But I did my homework, because guess what? I was going to graduate in 2 years. Okay, period. The person that took the idea from me for my portfolio, she had an internship. And so in class, everybody had to clap it up for her. Congratulations. I was proud of her. But guess who had one too that nobody spoke about? Me. And I got it by myself, okay? And with a Black woman, okay? Because what she responded to me was,
why would you do that? Feng Shui would have been a better class to take. I think it would have made more sense for you, because you don't know this and you don't know that, and you're not good at this and you're not good at that. I don't think you should be an intern. I think it's really dumb for you to do that.
I said, well, this says it's a credit. I could take this, and that I just need to do this. So can I or can I not? It's like, yeah, you can, but I'm just telling you that I don't think it's a good idea. But it was a good idea for her. It was a good idea for this white lady, for her to do it. It was so amazing for her to do it. But when I did it, mind you, I got mine first. I got my internship before anybody else did, which is beyond crazy to me. Okay, but why would you do that? It's a terrible idea. Do you hear the abuse here? And so this is abuse by the program director of my major. So she's literally in charge of all my teachers, and she's also a teacher. She would go as far as attacking my character. She would go as far as attacking my intelligence. She would go as far as attacking my appearance. She really hated when my fro was out. Lord, don't let me come to class with my hair blow dry out. Every day was something about my hair, my natural hair. And I was very natural with my hair. And so every day was something about my appearance, how I looked. I didn't dress well enough. I didn't dress professional enough. My background, when COVID happened, we had to go do Zooms and stuff like that. And so my background had to look nice. What? I'm in the dorm. Anyway, that was just a little taste of my experience as far as being abused But I want to, since I've explained all of that, I want to explain, like, I just want to have a intimate moment here where I explain how damaging that was to me. First and foremost, I want to say that I was not the only person that she did this to, and I also spoke to our president about it and how harmful mentally. I was definitely seeing a therapist on campus, and it was so toxic and damaging to my mental, and it made me want to harm myself, and I actually tried. And so my doctor wrote a note to my school's president to let them know how harmful it was. The president kind of was just like, well, only thing we could recommend for her is the therapist. I'm seeing the therapist. Like, I'm seeing the therapist. The therapist is aware. The therapist also agrees that this is not okay. Anyway, the school did nothing about how the teacher was treating me, because like I said, she said, she's been there for years, and, you know, she knows best, you know, whatever. Yeah, I felt very defeated. I'm not gonna lie, I felt very defeated because this was very toxic. But like I said, I wasn't the only person she did this to. She has did so much of this to, I want to say, most of all of the black girls there. Okay, I wasn't the only one who was fresh out of high school. There was a few other black girls along with me. She abused them so much that they would just not show up to class, that they just gave up. They didn't graduate with me. Long story short, I'm literally being aware of this happening. Like, I know what she's doing to me, and I'm seeing my fellow black girls trickle out as college goes on. I'm starting to see less of this person and less of this person, and they just don't show up. This was another motivational thing for me to keep going, because you might have been able to get in their head and make them believe that they're not worthy, but you cannot do that to me. Okay, I'm going to finish, and I'm going to finish strong. And so I did. And then when I was finished, like I said, I graduated with a job. I spoke to the two people that gave me a job. And I'm so blessed to have met them in my life, because they taught me so much. And that one semester that I got to intern with them, they taught me so much more than I knew in school. Like, what they don't tell you in college is that they don't teach you anything. They don't teach you anything in college. They give you a book, tell you to read the book, and to learn from the book, and it's literally a waste of money. I don't necessarily agree with college, so I'm sorry if you want to go to college. I don't agree with it. That not all teachers are like this, by the way. I definitely had teachers that were very attentive and did care about teaching their students and learning from their students. I definitely did have wonderful teachers there, but my program director was harmful for me. She would never have my respect. I don't care where she goes in life, she would never have my respect, because for you to say that you are a creative director and yet you're killing a lot of your students' dreams from being so abusive to them is beyond me. Some girls didn't make it to graduation. I did with honors, okay, bitch. I did with honors, okay? Put some respect on my name. Anyway, these things are very scary, okay? And once I got my job, I just was so burnt out from pushing so hard to finish that thing. When it got to the real world, I said, I don't want to do this no more. And I dropped into an even deeper depression, because your girl was already depressed, like dark depression. It took me about 3 years to become, has it been 3 years? Where is it? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took me 5 years, because I want to say just now I'm getting back into wanting to interior design. And anytime anybody would just be like, oh, would you design my house, my room, or whatever, I'd be like, no, fuck no. Because it would bring up trauma and triggers and insecurity and all of those negative feelings that she made me feel. And let me tell you something. A lot of people will say that nobody can make you feel anything that you are not. Let me tell you something. If this is something you're being fed every day, hearing every day by somebody that grades your work, that shit will affect you. That shit will change the way you're thinking, your mentality, your heart, and your confidence. That stuff does affect you, especially if it's happened reoccurrently. Like, this is what your mind is hearing. Is same way you hear affirmations, you tell yourself affirmations every day, and your mind starts to believe the affirmations that you overspeak over yourself. It's the same thing if someone's literally pointing to you and saying, you're terrible, you're worthless, you're not going to graduate. Anytime that I would feel like I would stick up for myself, she would strip me away from everybody else, because how dare you speak up against me in front of the whole class. But yeah, it took me 5 years to get out of this funk of not wanting to touch an interior design book. Like I still have all my books, but what is most important to me that really hurt my feelings out of this whole thing is that I fell out of love with the first thing I loved most. This is the thing I chose to go to college for, so it had to be important. I didn't choose photography, I didn't choose writing, I didn't choose fashion, I chose interior design. I can do all of these other things, but this is something I wanted to learn and grow and have a career out of. And for someone to take that away from me, that is so painful. It's so painful. And it took me 5 years to get out of that pain, to come to terms with the fact that, you know what, I didn't deserve that. You know what, I shouldn't let someone who just simply is ignorant to stop me from doing something that I love, that I'm good at. I'm actually really good. And I look back at my my portfolio. I don't know if you guys see my closet clean out. I cleaned out my closet and I found my old portfolio. If you guys want to see a video of my portfolio, put a comment in a comment and I'll do that. I'll make a video of that. And so yeah, that was really painful to have something so precious taken away from me. I don't know if anybody care about art as much as me. I still have yet to found people who thinks of art as such a sacred thing. All of the art that I do is sacred to me and it's very important. It really broke my heart that this was taken from me. You know, the love that I have for this version of art was taken from me because someone was so abusive and careless with their words. But anyway, I made this video to bring awareness to creative abuse. It's there, but it's in the fine lines. Like, this is something that we don't speak about on a daily basis. There's probably so many artists out here that's been abused and they don't even know that they've been abused. And this book really opened my eyes, because when I say I was floored. This is not even the beginning of the book. This is literally just like, this is the basic tool. It's like this is in the section of basic tools. Like I said, I'm not far in the book. I hope that you guys never experience this. But if you have, I want you to know that there is a way out of this. You do become cured. Maybe you just need time. Maybe you just need a break for the pain to not hurt anymore. And that's okay. Take as long as you need. But I want you to make sure that you go back to doing that thing you love, regardless of who told you you're not good, regardless of who told you you're not a real artist, you're not good, you're not worthy. Guess who deemed you worthy? God. You wouldn't have the idea to do this, you wouldn't have the love to do this if it wasn't, like, literally God gave you this talent. Go use your talent. God gave you this idea. Go put your idea out into the world. Let me tell you something. If God gives you an idea and you don't produce it, it will go to the next artist. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all. But that I will not be allowing. Not for me. Not for me. If God gives me an idea to do something, I have to do it. I have to do it, like, right now. Because I'll be damned if he gives me something that's anything to birth into this reality, whether it's a painting, whether it's a portrait, whatever it is. He gave me the idea to birth it. That means he entrusted me with this baby to bring to life. He said, I like your art and I want you to create this and show it to the world. And I don't. Guess what? It's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. You're literally, you don't create it, and so the next artist does. Some beautiful things happen when they create the thing that God sent up for them to do, okay? And you're literally just sitting like, damn, I had that idea. Why didn't I act on it? Do you know how many ideas you have that you never spoke out loud, but then you see in front of your face? Yeah, that's God saying, if you don't do it, it's going to get done either way, okay? I rambled long enough in this video. I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. I hope y'all learned something. I hope this video actually touched your heart. And I hope that this video brought to light some of the things that you were holding on to that you didn't. Also, if you aren't in the Discord, join the Discord. We literally have we have a poet pit, we have a art pit, where we share art, we share poems, we share memes, we have fun, and it's a very safe space. So if you want to connect with other creatives, join the Discord and talk to me often. Okay, bye guys.